Morning everybody and welcome to this morning's English lesson. So, now you've read the whole story of Beowulf. If you haven't, you please need to read the rest of the story before you do this lesson. You are going today just to think about how we're going to summarise the story. We're in our writing next week, we're going to write our own Beowulf adventures, but in order to do that I need to make sure you know the story. So today's all about summarising. Now, if you've been in school, you can see from the slides that you can see, we would have played ping pong to go over the bare bones of Beowulf, the bare bones being the very key events that happened. We don't need to know what colour the sky was, what Beowulf said, just the key events that happened. So, unfortunately we can't play ping pong, but you can take 30 seconds to pause the video to make a note of what you think the bare bones, the very, very minimal key events are in the story. So pause now, have a think, and then come back and I'll share what I've got. Okay, so hopefully you've managed to have a go. I've got 9 key events. So I've got a king built a large castle in which he held many feasts. Outside the castle lived a beast. One night during the feast, the beast entered the castle and killed many people. A warrior from another land came to help. One night the beast visited the castle again. This time the warrior wrestled with the beast and trapped him in an arm lock. The beast struggled until his arm came off. The beast ran away into the night, and the king held a feast in celebration of the warrior. So hopefully you've got something similar. Now, we are going to use something today called the 5-finger retell to summarise and retell the important parts of the story. So each finger is going to represent a different thing. So our thumb is going to be the characters, who the main characters were. You might start your sentence, the characters are. The setting is going to be the setting is. Okay, tell me about the setting of the story. And then your last 3 fingers are going to tell me the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the end of the story. So I'm going to show you an example in a minute, but what I would like you to do today is to use that 5-finger retell to summarise the story. So let's have a go together and I can show you my example and then you can have a go yourself. Okay, so I'm going to start my summary with my 5-finger retell by looking at my first 2 fingers, which are setting and characters. So you can see I have started with the main characters in Beowulf are Beowulf, King Hrothgar and Grendel, and the story takes place in King Hrothgar's village called Harrowot. We have talked about the characters, we have talked about where it is set, the setting. Oh, wrong one. So now we can go on to our first part of our retell, the beginning. So I'm just going to consult my little bare bones that I came up with. I know I'm going to have to talk about a king that they held lots of feasts and that there was a beast outside, because that beast is really important. Okay, so I've got King Hrothgar. Oh dear. King Hrothgar lived in a large castle and loved his villagers very much. In fact, he often threw lots of parties for them. However, outside the village there lived a monster. And that's all I need to know for my beginning. The main part is that King Hrothgar threw lots of parties and that there was a monster outside the village that stalked them, which is Grendel. Let's have a look at the next bit. We need to talk about how the beast attacked lots of knights and killed lots of people, and that a warrior came to defeat them. I think that's what my middle part is going to be. Okay, so every night, Grendel, the monster, attacked the town and killed lots of people. A warrior, ooh, what? No, that says warrior. We want a warrior. Oh, there we go, got there eventually. So a warrior named Beowulf heard about the monster terrorising the town and came to help them. Okay, that's what's happened in the middle of my story. What's happening towards the end? So if I look at my bare bones again, I can see that the beast was defeated, and at the end, a feast was held in celebration. So, Beowulf, finally, Beowulf successfully Beowulf tried to defeat Grendel and was successful in killing him. The king threw a large party to celebrate. So let's check. I've got my main characters, I've got my settings, I've got what's happened at the beginning, what's happened in the middle, and what's happening at the end. So you can now go and have a go and see if you can use your 5-finger retell to summarise the story. Okay, and then challenge. The challenge is, can you do it in less than 100 words? In less than 100 words. Once you've done that, I want you to have a go at writing a blurb for the story. Okay, so remember, in fact, I'll write some notes up here to help you. Oh gosh. So, writing a blurb. Now remember, a blurb has to give the reader key information about the story, but must not include any spoilers. So if I was writing a blurb about Beowulf, I would include that there was a monster that was terrorising a town and that a warrior came to save them, but I would not include that Beowulf was successful, because that is a massive spoiler. You're only going to give, it's going to be short because it's got to go on the back of a book. Okay, and it's going to tell the reader who the main characters are and what's been happening to them. I'm sure you've got lots of books in your house. You can go and have a look at blurbs and see if you can look at a few different examples and then see if you can come up with a blurb for Beowulf. So there's 2 activities to do. One is the summary. You have a challenge if you could do it in less than 100 words. And the other one is to write a blurb for the story. Okay? All the things you need are in the file, and I look forward to seeing your blurbs for the story.